Alrighty. How's it going, man? Man, it's going good. How you doing? Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Thanks for inviting me on this. Yeah, welcome to Veal Osmosis. Go ahead and introduce yourself and what you do. I'm Michael Melchiondo. I'm a musician, and used to do a project called Veal Marsala. That was just a recorded project, and right now I'm playing live as a solo project called Bugger, and that's what I'm up to, working on the record. Alright, so I've seen like your IG. You made like this weird little board for you to like walk around and make noise with it. Yeah. Who inspired that? Actually, well, somebody who you had on your show, who I'd love to give a shout out to, Macula Dog. Yeah, alright, cool. Yeah, they're awesome guys. They make great music. Yeah, man, totally. And yeah, let me start by saying, yeah, dude, thanks for having me on this. I'm a big fan of who you've had on, what you got going on. You got Avy Terror, Macula Dog, my buddy King Khan. Yeah, I have to say they've been really awesome artists. You know, that's gotta respect the game. Yeah, man, totally. So Macula Dog, I got pretty lucky. They were kind of like the greatest thing that just appeared out of the blue in my world a few years back, and I opened for them a couple of years ago. Yeah, almost two. Last December, before last December, I opened for them one of the first Orange 2 shows they did. I got to open for them. Oh yeah. Yeah, amazing dudes, amazing band. Shout out Ben and Matt. And yeah, so they totally inspired me to get on this thing. I had a buddy who was willing to help me kind of make like a thing with my board that I've been using live, playing like a mixing board. Yeah. So I had a no input mixer, you know, with like a few pedals. And so he helped me kind of, yeah, you kind of got a thing right there next to you. Yeah, to say it is kind of like all in house. Yeah, totally, man. So I had a buddy help me basically just Velcro it all down, and I had a case. So he helped me drill pegs into the case so that I could wear it like a guitar. Which is the thing, I think people have done this before, the wearing your pedal board. I think some people have done this, but with my thing, it's like a no input mixer, and it's like it's a few delays and an envelope filter, and kind of gives me this variable, different effects and noises I can make with it, loops, and I can put other things through it and use it as just like use it like a pedal board, you know? Yeah. And so we'll get to some essential Veal Osmosis questions, you know, like what kind of music have you been listening to lately? Crazy ass music, man. Crazy ass music. I was thinking about how you said that at the beginning of that episode with the Macula Dog. You said you're like, everybody smoke your weed now because we're gonna get into some crazy ass music. And obviously that's kind of like my go-to. I think if I'm maybe like some non-stereotypical music, I'm like typically smoking and listening to good music. But then there's like, you know, on a classic regular day, you're driving in your car and you're listening to the radio and you're like, alright, I don't mind the classics, I guess. Yeah, well, I like all music, man. I don't just listen to crazy ass music, but that phrase is just in my head because it's so much better than saying like, oh, what are you into? Experimental music? Yeah. I'm into crazy ass music, you know? So, well, what am I into right now? Random stuff. I've been getting into this guy, Graham Cartnell, who's been around for a few years. Have you heard of him? He's like an electronic musician. Yeah, electronic. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Cool guy. I've been getting into him lately. But, you know, my usuals. My Macula Dog. Getting into this guy, Freeform. Have you heard of Freeform? Yeah, definitely. Sure. He's like a, kind of like one of the lesser known, like, older IDM guys. I think he had one thing on Warp Records. But been listening to him lately. And also, like, what would you kind of say, like, your genre of music fits into?
You know, I mean, it's hard to say, man. I mean, I listen to a lot of stuff that's hard to categorize. And on one hand, I'm a big fan of genres. I love genres, but also, like I was saying, yeah, just calling it. I mean, just like
The classic
crazy shit. You know, no, it's electronic. You know, definitely electronic, definitely psychedelic. And I think of it as rock music. The stuff I've done in the past, like the Veal Marsala stuff, was like a really kind of unusual thing where it was more like a collage. It was like almost like a scrapbook, like an audio, like I was like almost like scrapbooking, like recordings I was making of my friends and then like making them into collages. But now it's kind of moved into more like rock territory. Like I have a drum machine, but it's not really like techno, or it can be. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of dub music, or it's like dub inspired,
Oh, yeah.
and kind of like noisy rock, electronic rock. You know, I don't know, any combination of these words. You know.
What would you say that first got you interested into like the noisier kind of like rock music?
Noisier rock music. I don't know, because I was into noisy electronic music first, really, before I was into noisy rock music.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, like Aphex Twin and stuff. This is when I was like a little kid. When I was like I've always been on the internet. You know, I've been heavy on the internet, and I was born in 2000. Also, so like 2009, 2010 is when I was like really on like YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and in video games, I was always just into video games. So started with like dubstep and stuff like that, and then it spiraled into like Aphex Twin and like weirder electronic stuff. Animal Collective. I was super into Animal Collective when I was in high school. And but the rock music, I was kind of like well, my dad is Dean Ween from Ween. So
Ween. Okay.
Yeah, from Ween. Are you into Ween?
Oh, they have some really good stuff.
Yeah. So I only discovered my dad's like stuff. Like I only discovered my dad's stuff like really when I was like 12 or 13. And I was actually like blown away because I was like, wow, my dad's shit is like it's crazy. My dad makes crazy. I knew he made music before that, but I didn't realize he made crazy ass music.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, man. So I listened to the records and from there started listening to more rock music, because then I started understanding my dad's just like a total rock guy, you know.
Yeah.
And but yeah, Butthole Surfers, you know, he put me on with Butthole Surfers, who he like played with, he worked with. The Boredoms,
Yeah,
you know.
right.
Yeah, amazing,
really
amazing stuff. Yeah.
So would you say like you have like a first like concert experience where you're like, oh, I could do this too, outside of like at home?
A concert experience. I mean, I saw concerts growing up, but it was like a weird, like I had to kind of find like what kind of a format I would fit into, you know what I mean? Like I went through everything. Like first I was like, oh, you know, maybe I'll be like a DJ or something because I know a lot of music.
Yeah.
But like not really, like don't know like turntables and stuff like that. What was the question again?
Like the introduction and the concerts and like
concerts.
Yeah, what bands like where you're like, oh, I can play music too, or like, oh, I like how that they incorporated this, so like I want to try and do this at home.
Yeah. For me, it's funny. It wasn't really so much concerts as it was seeing stuff on YouTube, seeing stuff on the internet, and then I would kind of find the concert off of that, you know.
Gotcha. Hell yeah.
Like a lot of my favorite bands, like guys that I learned how to do the mixer stuff I was talking about was like first I was really into that guy Dan Deacon, you know. Dan Deacon. Yeah.
So.
I was really inspired by his like really early stuff because it's like pretty bad.
like I was saying, I would say like it's very creative, but it could have been recorded in like a better production. Like if you had all the stems, the remasters would be incredible. You know?
Yeah. No, I love Dan Deacon, and his later stuff is fantastic. I'm talking about
that
like
stuff is really adapted. Yes.
yeah, no, he's fantastic. But I was inspired by his he has an album called Metal Mice.
Yeah.
That's just like it's just like this collection of just like a bunch of stuff that he made, like kind of just like it's like not really like an amazing record, but it's just like a collection of like a bunch of stuff. So that was kind of like what I wanted to make in terms of a record, like not for anybody, like not really. This is like when I was like a kid, like I just kind of wanted to make something to like create like almost like a time capsule of like where I was at. But in terms of actually playing it, I was just doing all kinds of shit. I had a digital recorder, so I was just recording my buddies, just making noise, just random noise. And then I had like a pirated copy of Fruity Loops, so I would like make it in Fruity Loops. So it was really weird. I had to figure out then we never played shows. We never played any shows of that stuff, of Veal Marsala. And so then I had to figure out like how would I make like this like collage together, like free, like really like free electronic stuff, and not use a computer. I was really into that. Like I can't use a computer live. It has to be like
you see
not like analog, like hardware, just purely like hardware.
Yeah.
And so that the band that really got me into that was Black Dice. You know, Black Dice. Yeah, they were like I think I somehow figured out, them and Dan Deacon, some combination of both of those. I figured out how to do a no input mixer.
Okay.
And then it all stemmed from that. Then it was like the mixer. You just plug things into the mixer, and then that was totally like Black Dice. Then was how I saw myself playing live. Like you have like a stand, you have like a station. My dad calls it a waste station. Just you're standing at a station and you just have all your shit on it and you're just jamming the waste, you know? So, and that's pretty much been the idea ever since. I mean, I've added more things. I have like a keyboard, I have a guitar. It's gotten more musical, you know, the stuff I'm working on now. But yeah, I haven't really put any of it out as Bugger, which is what it is now. So I'm working on that record right now, and hopefully people will look back on this interview and be like, oh yeah, it's coming together. Yeah.
Like what inspired the name too?
Bugger?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's just like how I feel. Bugged out, buggery, a bug-like vibe. I see a lot of people are on the bug frequency. Just feeling like a bug. It's almost like the lowest form of life, being like a bug man.
I agree.
Totally, just like a bug man. You know, like spindly, like this, like, you know, just like a kind of like a nerd, like a dude that's always on the computer. So like Bugger.
A bug.
Yeah, it's a funny word. It has like these like ancient meanings. Like it used to mean like I mean, people should just look it up. That it used to be this like it used to be the term that they would like punish people for sodomy, for anal sex. They would punish people for this. And
that was considered
in medieval times, and it was called buggery. It was called buggery. So you'd be sentenced for buggery. You would be put in the gallows for buggery.
And I think I'm known for how much I eat ass, so I'd be a real bugger.
Yeah, just a dirty play on words, just a fun, you know, just a dirty play on words, basically. You know, all the different meanings of it I liked, so I went with it.
Speaking of medieval, I didn't know this about buggery, but have you ever watched the movie like Excalibur? Old school movie?
No.
No. That's some epic old actors where you're like, how in the hell are they in this? What about like Robin Hood? Kevin, you know, what is it, Kim Costner or whatever? That one's a good one.
That is a good one, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
totally.
I feel like whenever medieval movies, they're not always done well, but there's always like a few in that time period where you're like, I can fuck with that one. I watched I think is it Martin Scorsese? I think he did Kingdom of Heaven. I don't remember exactly who did that one, but I was like, that director, that movie kind of put a weird perspective of like the Crusades and like how you'd have to like really deal with that life if you were in a shittier, stance on
Yeah,
it, you know what I mean? Having to fight in war and that kind of stuff.
dude, totally.
Yeah.
I think about the medieval. Yeah.
Would you say like that kind of plays a part into like what you do music wise, like where you get themes or for like inspiration for your songs, or how do you kind of come up with like your recordings? Is it kind of like I have this in mind, or I'm starting with something and then I'm getting to record?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't really have a great answer for that because songs, I've never really been like a song. I've always had a hard time like with like being like a song guy. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't really consider myself a songwriter, but I do think that when I make like an electronic like thing, even if it's instrumental, like the song form is good, like repeating structures, you know. But in terms of like inspiration, I don't know. Right now I'm kind of in a. It's funny because right now I am in kind of a conceptual thing where I am going at it from a concept,
Gotcha. All right.
and people will see that. Yeah, because I'm inspired by definitely a lot of electronic guys who will do like concept albums where it's really like just like kind of bizarre, like James Ferraro.
Yeah. Really cool.
Yeah,
That's really
yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm totally inspired by his like kind of approach where it's like he's almost trying to like map out like how he sees the world in terms of like these like themes and stuff, and then he'll kind of do a song in terms of the genre, playing around with the genre, which is kind of like which is also almost like a weaned thing, like just picking a style, a song that you like and doing your own thing with it.
To mention Lean, do you have like an all-time favorite track yet, or is it something that's more lucrative for you since you hear so many?
Is it more lucrative for me?
Yeah. Be like,
I mean,
all of it's rich, you know what I mean? Like all of as in like albums, because I feel like for me, it's like once I get into like a band, I'm like, okay, track after track, I can't say like there's anything like beating it, or you know what I mean, or it has a different feeling for me.
yeah, for sure. No, yeah, I'm huge into all of them. I am like I'll say that I am a huge fan of my dad. You know, he's totally like my my hero, I guess. And but Ween favorite songs probably Transdermal Celebration and Demon Sweat. Demon Sweat's a good one.
Yeah. Kind of mind blown. All right, so essential vibe osmosis questions. I know we have like a limited time. If you were stranded on an island, but you could only take one thing with you, what would you bring?
Oh, man, I gotta think about that. So you could go with the smart answer, or you could go with the really kind of like the dumb, but I would enjoy myself. Which like so the dumb, but I would enjoy myself would be probably a guitar, an acoustic guitar. I would just be fucking just enjoying my last days, just playing the guitar, but it probably wouldn't help me.
I know I'm changing my answer to a refrigerator full of beer.
That's amazing. That's an amazing idea. You could also say weed or beer or mushrooms or anything like that. Probably go. No.
The trip, make the trip worth it.
If I actually wanted to survive, I'd probably go with the Swiss Army knife or like a fire starter or something. I don't know. I was a Boy Scout. I should remember this stuff. Or a tent, But no, I'd probably, a bunch of beer or a guitar.
And like I can't ever pass up bringing weed along with me too, so it's like it's a tough question. Now this one I guess is more like a my favorite all time. Like what kind of movies do you like?
Movies? Kind of the same as I like everything. I like crazy ass shit. I like weird horror movies, a lot of horror, a lot of comedy, kind of balance those two things. Horror comedies. I just saw the movie Freaked for the first time. You mentioned the Butthole Surfers. Have you heard of this movie, Freaked?
Okay, yeah, it's like 1990 or 80 or some shit.
It's this crazy, like late 90s, like horror comedy, gross out movie.
It's been a while.
Gibby Haynes is in it.
Yeah.
It's really great. I just saw it and I was like, this is like, I can't believe I hadn't seen it before. I was like, this is my ideal thing. It's just got crazy special effects.
Yeah. Yeah, that is one of the key things. Like, yeah, so would you say, like, you're more of, like, a thriller or horror kind of a vibe, or do you, like, mix it up with, like, a romantic comedy or some shit?
I like to, romantic comedy. I could definitely mix it up.
I think Shrek counts as a romantic comedy these days.
Some Shrek, some 3D animation. Totally, man. No, I have been leaning onto the horror lately. I saw thing.
Wow. Totally love that movie. But it's funny, I'm kind of just getting into it because I really got into, I've always been into collecting stuff, like collecting physical media.
Yeah.
Like I used to collect games, then it was music, and then now I'm starting to just kind of get some more film because I dug up my dad's
Old VHS tape collection. He had a VHS collection. It's actually, you can almost kind of like back there on my shelf.
This was screening.
Just a shitload of VHS tapes that he had in storage, and it's just like the greatest movies. Like he just bought every great movie you could just imagine. A lot of good horror. I mean, he's got The Exorcist, The Blair Witch Project,
Yeah.
Omen,
Right.
Jacob's Ladder.
Nice, yeah.
A
What
lot
do
of like.
you think about the remake of the Blair Witch? I like the later.
I haven't seen it, man.
My friends just gave that to me on DVD, and I'm like, I don't even know if I'm gonna watch it yet. It's not even opened. But
I've heard some weird things about it. It's like it's like a doc. This is the one that it's like a documentary about the documentary. It's like they do this like meta thing with it.
I'm guessing it's the revive. Like I've watched like all of the younger.
Oh, you're talking about the revive. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like my friends gave it to me, and I'm like, okay, I might watch it. Like,
no, I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen it, but I've seen clips of it, and they have like new like CGI. Like the Blair Witch is like CGI.
Oh, okay. So at least you get some like new paranormal exposure. I feel like the one like building up that anticipation of like what the fuck is actually happening. Like, what is this?
Oh,
movie?
dude.
You know?
Have you seen a Skinamarink?
No, Skinamarink.
Dude, this is the movie that came out a year or two ago. One of my buddies showed me it. It's like exactly what you just described.
Okay.
You can't even tell what's happening in most of it. It's not like it's not as straightforward as Blair Witch, but you should check it out. Skinamarink.
Yeah,
It's pretty I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
With like movie recommendations, what would you say is like a top 3 that you would like definitely recommend?
Oh, let me look at my list really quick here. The
All
top
right.
3 that I would recommend.
Yeah.
Oh man, to anybody.
Yeah, to anybody.
Probably Idiocracy by Mike Judge.
Yeah.
I think that's like an important like educational film for people to know about the future. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know how I didn't mention that in terms of horror. I don't think I would recommend it to anybody, but that's one of my favorites. And
okay.
And maybe, I don't know, The Truman Show.
Yeah, I've totally watched that one. That's a solid recommendation. All right,
Pretty good. Yeah, I'm working on my film tastes.
Like, what was your first instrument?
First instrument, probably like the baby thing, like the recorder, playing the recorder in like second grade. But then I played cello. They made us pick like a higher instrument. I picked the cello, and I played in the orchestra strings. Then I played middle school. I took piano and drum lessons, which is probably the thing that was best for me. And then I was really lucky. I had a teacher in high school who taught like digital music production.
Nice.
So that's how I got like you know, found like how to use Fruity Loops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I moved through a lot of things pretty quick, and now it's like mostly playing like keyboard was what stuck with me. So I'd say keyboard is kind of my main thing.
Okay, so this one's an essential vibe though. If you had a time machine, would you go forwards or backwards?
Oh man. You know, I've never thought that deep about that, and it's actually a really good question because they both have their risks.
Yeah,
You know?
they do. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I'm a future guy.
I would say future. Yeah, I'd say future.
I think I think like, even if you got to see like a couple of years ahead, you'd be like, okay, like I'm back in the game, you know. If you're
Totally.
stuck there, you'd be like, okay, like I at least I skipped all those problems I had in the past. I don't know.
Well, you would skip your problems that you had in the past, but you would also. The thing is, with going back in the past, you could take what you had, what you knew of what was coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's huge. Like that's huge. But I'm a huge future guy. Like I'm huge right now into like AI and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think the future is going to be totally nuts in
So,
not even that short of a time.
This one is a whole new vibe question. And if you could pitch a small pitch for a TV show that was like animated, adult, whatever, what would you go for?
Oh, man. A pitch for a TV show. Like, did you say a cartoon?
Yeah.
Like a cartoon? I have an idea that I've been kicking around, but this kind of hints towards what my what the album I'm working on right now is kind of about.
Okay.
But it would be about a waste dump. That's my idea. It would be about like a toxic waste dump, and it would be about a bunch of like mutant like freaks that live in this waste dump. That's my idea.
Okay. Now, do you have like a time setting? Is it in like a certain time? Is it in the future or is it now?
Future, definitely the future, because it's what I think. I think that the future, like ruin like the planet, like post-apocalyptic almost, you know. And these characters, they're all like mutated. It's like post-nuclear almost, and they live in like a waste dump, and they're all like freaks or something. I might make this, so nobody take my idea.
Yeah.
But
yeah. You have to tap in it now. You don't have to say the name of it because I feel like that's where the money's at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. But so I'm working on this album and this whole thing where it's just, the waste. Because my dad, this is what like noise, like my dad always called noise, like waste. Like you're making waste, or like he'd use it in an expression like put some waste on that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like put some distortion on that, put some, wasteify it, And so like waste then for me became like, when I was a kid, it was toxic waste, like green, like slime, like toxic waste in like barrels, and it mutated you, like the Ninja Turtles or something.
Definitely.
And so like the waste, then you go down like the rabbit hole of like, oh, just the waste. So yeah, I think of like a waste dump in like this future world where it's like just like a totally like really kind of like it's dark in terms of like what it is, but it's actually like it's bright and cartoony. Like it's bright and cartoony on the surface, but it's really just totally fucked up underneath, That's kind of how I imagine it.
Do you remember your first movie?
My first movie, probably Toy Story or Finding Nemo, maybe.
Okay.
What about you?
Oh, I think it was I seen Hercules, and it was like at a
Hercules?
Yeah, And
The cartoon one?
yeah, the cartoon one, you know, can't
Yeah.
and all right, so like album wise, like what would you say is like an all-time favorite album?
Oh, my all-time favorite album. You know, I would say off the top of my head, it's the Beach Boys Smile Sessions. I've been totally obsessed with that for like for a while, for a few years now. I think that's like a kind of shining, crowning piece of music. But Black Dice, Creature Comforts, Pure Guava or The Pod by Ween.
Yeah.
Duty Now for the Future by Devo is up there. I don't know, Orange 2 by Macula Dog.
And with your own music, like what was your first dog?
My first dog was Fruity Loops. I think it was Fruity Loops. I can't think of anything it was.
Windows, or did you have like one of the Emacs or Mac or something?
I had it. School computer. It was a school computer first. And then I had it on
The Toshiba and the Mac.
So it's like my baby's still with me, even though it's like so outdated in a way. It's like, I'm gonna back up my drive. It's the job, man. Yeah, that's good. I had it on a computer. So yeah, I eventually got it on my own computer, which was like a Windows PC. But it died a few years ago. And so I haven't really had like I've kind of been between DAWs ever since. Kind of recording a lot of stuff with Pro
tools, but I'm like, nah, this isn't as comfortable. You know, Fruity Loops is like Fruity Loops is like brain dead. So great, just like drag and drop everything. But
What do you think about?
yeah, never been a huge DAW guy. I've always been intimidated by computers. Once you get the computer involved, it's kind of like different. It's like programming music versus playing music. You know what I mean? Like live versus like you're thinking about it and you're like calculating it.
Well, like, what do you think about like Logic and Ableton and Pro Tools or Luna? Are you a fan of like those as well?
I've tried most of the ones you've named. I've tried Ableton, I've tried Logic. Logic is good. Ableton's good. They're all good. Just you have to be like really comfortable with just your computer interfaces, your files.
You have to have good file organization. I'm like a total mess with that. Like my desktop and my computer. It's just a total mess. I think Logic, I think Mac needs to kind of update the way that they manage files in general, but I do think like using Luna, like whenever you're with... What's Luna? Luna is basically like another version of Logic. It just like is very detailed about the mixing and the mastering and the input. And like if you're playing like a lot of people live, like if you're having drums and you're playing like electronics and like vocals and stuff, like it makes a lot more sense to use Luna from what I've learned with like Logic, because like you have to have like a decent interface with Logic to like run everything at the same time, or you like really gotta go with like an Apollo and like get everything kind of set up the way you're looking for. And also, like, I'm a big fan of just, like, making music, you know, wherever you can, so it's like, I'm not gonna, like, die, but, you know, I have a friend that made a really cool album on GarageBand, and I'm still like, you use GarageBand for every GarageBand, you know, and how the fuck did they do that? Yeah, GarageBand is legit. Yeah, I know, with, like, my friends that make stuff with, like, Android phones that, like, do, like, these, like, AI videos and stuff, and, like, I can really see where you have to, like, dial in on, like, what you're looking for when that comes up. Yeah, totally, man. I would say for people that,
Yeah, don't let the, I forget who said this, but, you know, don't let the technology stop you, or don't let the technology beat you. You know what I mean? Like, make whatever you're gonna make and do it, you know, by whatever means necessary. It doesn't matter what, you know, how crappy the program is or whatever, you know, don't let it stop you, you know, and don't let it, you know, get in the way of your vision.
And like with AI, like have you like made like your own pictures and like your own like video and stuff, or what have you messed with it with AI?
AI, man, dude, I'm messing with all of it right now. I love it. I'm messing with ChatGPT.
I've seen a lot of good stuff about ChatGPT lately.
ChatGPT got really crazy a few months ago, I think, when it came out with the voice feature so that it talks back to you. Like you can actually conversate with it. And like just straight up like back and forth, just talking with it. That to me is like so crazy. I was waiting for that for a long time. Even though there's like crappier chat bots out there, but that's like, yeah, ChatGPT is awesome. But no, making videos, yeah, Connor, King Khan, dude.
Yeah.
You know, he's a great buddy of mine who does that, and got me on all kinds of like. I used Dolly 2 for a while for making videos. Runway Gen 2, or not for video, Dolly 2 is just pictures, but it's still pretty good.
I'm a fan.
But there's better ones now. Bing, the Bing Dolly 3 is amazing right now. You tried that?
No, I haven't tried that one yet.
It's crazy. It's better than Dolly 2.
Oh, okay. I like to say I've been like running through all the apps and like give a free try or like do the 1 week where it's like not that expensive, but then you're like ripping as much content.
Yeah.
I'm like, luckily I have like a couple backup hard drives because I'm like, this is where all of this is stock photo. You just go in and like you'll get to it, like have an idea for it. But one thing I think I've been interested in is like how right now we don't really have like an AI TV show that's like out there that's like mainstream, and it's like on the tip of everybody's tongue but doesn't know how to like formulate it. And like one of the crazy ones that I'll show you, tell you before we go, is called Pronoun Family. Okay. Where AI, it's the AI family of everybody has different pronouns, but it's breaking down the lessons of pronouns in the most like computerized generic way. But you have like special guests, come in and like talk on like actual like, show or something. But that's one of the pitches where I have where I'm like, that one, it could sell. It could do alright.
Pretty good. I definitely think an AI TV show is coming. It's gotta be coming.
It's gotta be coming, and like I think it's now to the races of like which one is cool or which one like really translates well and like what kind of like vibe. And like I also see like with these like music videos and stuff, like the translation between like using AI, like it really does well. Like there's a lot of bands that like know how to kind of correlate like with what they're looking for to that kind of visual aesthetic. So it's like, yeah, you got to use the kind of technology while you have it. Also, so like, would you try like the Apple Vision thing where you get to see like VR stuff?
Yeah, man, dude, augmented reality. I think a lot about augmented reality. I think that is like truly gonna change everything. And right now, I mean, a lot of this stuff right now is in kind of like a stage where it's almost like a joke. Like, I actually wrote about this. I wrote about this as my college thesis. Actually, I just finished college a few months ago, and I did art history.
All right.
Yeah, so I wrote about AI. They let me write about AI generated images. And I just basically talked about how we're in this like weird uncanny valley right now where it's all fucked up. All the shit is like really bizarre. And so like just the images and stuff. And so like people look at it, they don't take it seriously. And it's easy to see why, because it's like kind of repulsive if you're not into weird shit. If you're not into weird shit, you look at it, you're like, this is upsetting to look at. You know what I mean?
It's like it's not so real.
Totally, but augmented reality is like that, where I think that once it's like, right now people see like, like the big, the headset or whatever, and it's like, it's very ridiculous looking, but I'm totally into it, man. I'm totally into it. I would totally try it on. It's probably, I guess it's out of my price range right now. It's like $3,000.
Yeah, no, so with the
we were talking about Apple VR.
Yeah, so like I thought about investing in it because I was like, it should be worth the money if like you're getting all these crazy ass apps and like you're getting to see what the next step of like the future is. But like this, like the last brand new Mac that I bought itself was like $2,000. So I'm like, that's kind of even more than my own computer, and like it's more than some used car. So I'm like, damn, like they're really asking for you to like shell out for you to have a taste of this. That's
Yeah,
like,
I'm not buying it right now, man.
it's like,
but I'll give it time.
It's gotta be a nice gift. You know,
Oh,
like
totally.
someone where he's like, okay, you can just have this, try this out. Because like whenever the Oculus came out, I was like hands on for that. And I was like, you always gotta like basically use Steam games.
And Steam games, I don't know, for Oculus, it's okay, but it's just like not the I guess the ideal way if we're talking with like what Apple is I guess offering for this new way. And like I think like the next step is like beyond these like video games that are VR. It's like how you integrate that with like music, having like DAW and like VR, and like you're controlling that in a whole new like setting. And like that's something where I'm really interested in, because like obviously like AI has like so many AI music ways of like, you know, formatting that out, and like I want to see like how that translates into the future of like using like an AI sample and like controlling this to like integrate that into like your virtual doll. And also I guess like another thing that like I'm interested in like futuristic wise is like if we actually do the teleportation thing. I think like since you're able to kind of like, you know, like talk to somebody that's like
18, 19 hours ahead. The internet is kind of like using that to time travel if you're like one time zone talking to a person in the future. You know what I mean? But we have to find a way to use the internet to time travel, and that would be teleportation if you're using VR. So it's like you'd be magic. Magic, exactly, yeah. I don't know, these are early ideas I'm pitching here.
These are great, dude. All of this is gonna happen, man. But the technology is magic now. It goes from anything.
And same thing with like music, I feel like we're at this point now, it's like since COVID happened and like bands are coming out and like showing up and like doing shows again, like it's like what are we not doing from like the past and like how we're trying to change it. And to some degree for like these smaller venues, you can really see where they're giving like other artists a chance. So like being out here in Seattle, I've been like really surprised and like there's now like an indie scene and like an electronic scene and like a hard rock metal scene, other than like every venue is like specific for, you know, hard rock metal kind of Seattle stuff. And so I was like, okay, like, a lot has changed ever since COVID, because like before COVID it wasn't like that out here in Seattle. It's like all the venues were kind of like, this is the way that it's gonna ride out until like the trend changes, you know?
Yeah. Where are you based now?
I'm in New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay, so like you can kind of get the vibe, because like the venues and stuff out there in New Jersey and like New York are on the kind of same thing. It's like indie underground kind of stuff, and like
DIY.
DIY for sure. And like, do you think like ever since COVID, like you can kind of see like more people coming out to support shows in your area?
Definitely. I'd say so. It was weird because it happened in the middle of while I was in school. I was in college. It was the middle of my like first year. You know, the pandemic hit. And it totally fucked. There was no shows for a year and a half, 2 years almost.
Exactly, yeah.
And yeah, dude, it sucked. And yeah, I would say it's gotten gradually better, because yeah, there was definitely a while where it felt like the energy was just totally not there. But yeah, I'm right around New Hope, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And it seems to be pretty good. I go to more shows. I go to weirder shows around like New Brunswick, New Jersey, not these places.
Yeah, you know, New Brunswick, New Jersey. New Brunswick, Philly, you know, Philly's got it going on. New Hope is pretty good. But, yeah, we got DIY places around here. So there's it's happening. But I do agree that there's a funny thing with the internet versus real life shows going on, like what we have right now. Like exactly like this right now. Like everyone, doing things, streaming your shows, or doing them, playing on Twitch or something, versus going to your local DIY center,
I feel like the big thing right now is, like, if you're in a video game, like Fortnite or whatever, like, just like that shit.
Fortnite or Club Penguin and that kind of stuff, like, you'll find, like, a weirder, wider audience that are still, like, down to listen to your music even if they never heard of it, because it's on the internet, other than, like, going to a show where you're like, I spent $10 or $15 listening to 2 other bands I've never heard of, but I heard of this one band, you know what I mean? So it's like, I can kind of get that, because like now in today's age, it's like a little bit more pricier to go out and see shows, unless they're like, more DIY or underground, like the bigger guys, like you always got to shell out for, and that kind of stuff, which, gotta give props to, because it's a better venue.
No, totally, man.
Yeah.
But we gotta keep it alive, though. We definitely need these, all these spots.
Yeah, I agree. So, like,
What's your take on like festivals? Do you go to any?
Festivals? I mean, I played my first festival. Well, festival could be a pretty small thing. I played like a thing where it was just like a lot of bands playing in a club in one day, basically, and that was a festival. And those things are cool. I was a little stressed out because you have a block of time, you got to get in your block of time. And if you're late, then 7 other, bands are late,
Yeah.
But going to festivals, I'm into it. Like I was saying, I was definitely into some like EDM when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I totally get the allure of it. I mean, I totally get big festivals and, I totally understand it. And, I think it's great. I mean, COVID, I guess COVID totally killed those, but like,
Yeah.
I would definitely go back to some stuff now. I haven't been to anything
Like that. It's so long ago, actually. I don't even know where they're at now. They don't seem to be on the East Coast, so they seem to be in the city.
it's like that deep cities, like I've heard like there's some raves coming back, but like maybe Legend Forest came back this year.
Gathering the juggalos.
It's still get down to like fire and all that kind of stuff. So it's like
Burning Man.
Burning Man. But I heard you talk about Burning Man. It's like that's where like some really like you're gonna have the best experience at Burning Man. It's like you gotta be really, really rich wanting to live like a homeless person that has money.
Yeah, it's pretty whack. Think about it. They're going
Get dirty.
Max characters.
That's good news. Like that's when you're really showing up, man. All right, so so before we go, like, you have anybody you want to shout out or anything?
Shout out to everybody that I've already shouted out, man. Mac the Dog, Connor, King Kong. Who's out there? I don't know who's listening. My parents, probably. I know how you met. I love how you edit the audio on these things. You play with the audio.
I did.
I like it. But yeah, so we'll see how it looks. But shout out to everybody following Bugger out there. As I do the thing.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining Bob Osmosis. It's been awesome.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
Hopefully it's a good rest of your day, and like we'll keep in chat. All right.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
All right. I'll get working on this. Okay.
All right, man. Just let me know.
All right.